Are you looking for the best robot mops? In this video we will look at some of the 7 best robot mops on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description, so make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Number 1. Roborock S8 Plus Robot Vacuum Mop. The Roborock S8 Plus has all the features you could want in a robot vacuum and mop in an easy-to-use form. In our testing, it easily picked up hair, without tangling, and everything from dust to larger debris like cereal. We found it worked particularly well on both hardwood floors and tile and was relatively quiet when in use. The self-emptying feature is loud, but you can turn the automatic mode off and manually control when you want it to empty instead. As a mop, it quickly made haste of some sticky residue we had on the floor with just one swipe. We didn't notice any missed spots, and when we wiped a wet paper towel after the robot mop had done its cleaning, the paper towel stayed white, so we knew the robot mop had done a thorough cleaning. The mop only uses water to clean, so if you prefer using a cleaner, you will have to add one. The pad is reusable and needs to be washed after each use. Connecting to Wi-Fi and the app was easy. There was a provided QR code, and we found the quick mapping was indeed fast. The robot map was able to quickly skim each room and create an accurate map of the house, and then it was easy to divide or merge rooms as needed. There is also a multi-floor mapping feature that allows the robot to automatically detect which floor it's on. We found it to be extremely smart. It was able to detect someone standing in front of it and automatically slowed down, and it maneuvered well around chair and table legs and into corners. After going over a raised room divider a few times, the app asked us if there was a threshold in that spot, and we were able to mark it in the app for easier cleaning. It also did well recognizing cables in a corner and marked them to avoid, preventing any accidental cord eating. You can schedule it to run for specific rooms, and it's easy to change the times and specify what kind of cleaning you want: vacuum and mop, vacuum only, or mop only. There are preset options, or you can customize your own based on your personal preferences. The spot mode feature was also easy to use. You simply pick a spot and the robot mop will go straight there. It does target a large area in spot mode, but you will get a thorough cleaning in that spot. After 6 months of use, we're even more confident in our recommendation of this model as our best overall robot mop. It completely streamlined our cleaning routine and stood up to twice weekly cleanings without any lost battery life or effectiveness. While it's on the pricier side for a robot mop, this Roborock has plenty of features to make it worth the price tag. Number 2. Yeti Vac Station Self-Emptying Robot Vacuum and Mop. If you're looking for a good robot mop, you should expect to shell out a few $100s at least. Compared to similar models, the Yeti is less expensive and offers more bang for your buck. This Yeti robot vacuum and mop is a great option that doesn't require a ton of heavy lifting. We found that it took less than 5 minutes to set up, and not only will it map your house, but you can also designate no mop zones or set cleaning preferences by area. Because it can empty itself, you won't need to worry about regularly disposing of the dust or hair that it accumulates. We needed to change the bag about every 3 weeks at most. When in vacuum mode, it can handle both carpet and hardwood floors, and it can go between different surfaces with ease. When in mop mode, it avoids carpet, which is a nice feature to prevent soggy carpets. After removing the mopping reservoir, the vacuum goes on the carpet to suck up any dirt and debris. It has an average noise level, but the self-emptying feature is on the louder side. And if you have pets that shed a lot, we found that the self-emptying feature was a tad less effective. One solution we found is to use the robot twice a day instead of once, so the bin is full of less hair at once. After 3 months of use, we noticed that the vacuum wasn't as quiet as it was right out of the box, although the quality remained the same. And after 6 months of use, we noticed a few quirks, like it being low battery despite sitting on the charging dock for an extended period and sporadic alerts regarding its charging status. Despite these drawbacks, it performed well overall, and we still highly recommend this robot for its effectiveness and range of features at a relatively affordable price. Number 3. Narwhal Frio Self-Mop Clean Robot. Although it's undeniably an expensive option, the Narwhal Frio is an extremely effective robot vacuum and mop, especially if you have pets. We found the vacuum worked equally well on tile, wood, and carpet, and picked up everything from small dust particles and pet hair to larger objects on the floor about half a Cheerio size. It does a good job getting into corners and under furniture, and with object avoidance, it has no problem navigating around random things that have been left on the floor. It's low maintenance, too. You can schedule it to run while you're not home, and you don't have to do much other than occasionally add water/solution and empty the dirt bin. Plus, it self-empties and self-cleans the mop. The setup process is fairly simple and involves installing 2 brushes and connecting to the Narwhal Frio app. Tip: the app has to be on the entire time during the setup for it to work properly. Once the robot is set up, the mapping and scheduling are easy to use. You can see the progress of the mapping and cleaning in real time on your app, and we found that it only took one time for the robot to map out a floor plan. Once you have the initial map set up, you can design and name areas for cleaning and decide if you want specific areas vacuumed and mopped or just one or the other. The vacuum connects to Wi-Fi but is not currently smart device compatible. It's also very quiet and not very intrusive, and we found that you can even watch TV at a normal level while it is both vacuuming and mopping in the room. For places that need a little extra TLC, you can use the Frio mode, which does a deeper clean. Another great feature is that it uses heat to dry, so your floors dry very quickly after mopping. We were surprised at how quickly the floors dried. The mop ran from the outside to the inside of the room, and by the time it got to the inside of the room, the outside was already dry. Number 4. Ecovacs Robot T10 Plus Robotic Vacuum and Mop. One of the biggest pains of robot vacuuming is constantly having to empty the bin. The Ecovacs Robot T10 Plus not only has a self-emptying feature, but it also has a disposable, 3.2-liter sealed dust bag that securely contains dirt and can be used for up to 60 days. It also has a self-cleaning feature for dust, so that's one less thing you have to worry about. The mop function has 3 vibration power levels and 3 levels of water flow, and we found it did a sufficient job of cleaning the floors, though wasn't quite as deep of a clean as other models. Still, it's way less work than having to manually mop the floor. The vacuum performed well on multiple surfaces, but despite having object avoidance technology, it was not as great at avoiding smaller objects on the floor. It was able to avoid a sock but sucked up a USB cord. In addition, it had trouble going over a door threshold, about 0.75 centimeters tall, and over areas rugs that weren't weighed down by furniture. After taking everything out of the box and charging, it took about 6.5 hours to fully charge the robot. Setting up the app was fairly simple. Although the app itself is not particularly intuitive, we spent a lot of time clicking around in the app trying to figure out where everything was. After 6 months of use, we found that it performed better than it did originally, as it seemed to have acquired a better handle on the layout of the home. Number 5. Ecovacs Robot T10 Omni Robot Vacuum Mop Combo. If you have a lot of hair, human and/or pet, around the house, the Ecovacs Robot T10 Omni cleans and self-empties for an overall streamlined process. We tested this model on wood and tile floors, and it cleaned both effectively, picking up pet hair, food messes, and dirt. At first, we didn't realize that we needed to remove the mop pads before vacuuming the carpet, but once we did, it was just as effective on rugs as everywhere else in the home. The robot mop is quiet enough to be used a room away without causing much disruption, though the self-emptying feature is incredibly loud and somewhat disruptive. During testing, we observed the mop navigate expertly around furniture, pets, tight spaces, and corners. Setting up the robot mop was simple. It arrived mostly assembled with clear instructions for setting up and installing the connected app. Once you download the app, you can set up the mapping, which took 1 hour to complete, though we found that the system improves after regular use for 1+ weeks. Over 6 months of testing, the D-Bot became a regular asset in our cleaning routine. It picks up after our shedding dog and messy toddler's meals, making our home overall cleaner and brighter. We had to replace a few parts after 6 months of day-to-day use, but considering how effective this machine is, these sporadic parts upgrades keep the vacuum mop working as efficiently as the first day we tried it. And while the price is steep, its effectiveness, ease of use, and expert cleaning power are worth every penny. Number 6. Mop Station Pro Robot Vacuum and Mop. For homes that have rugs, you want a robot vacuum and mop that can handle different surfaces so you don't have to remove the rugs each time you're mopping or vacuuming. The Mop Station Pro has carpet detection that enables it to avoid carpets while mopping and increase suction while vacuuming. In our tests, this robot mop was able to detect and avoid multiple area rugs during mopping, and it cleaned the rugs just as well as it did the hard floor while on the vacuum setting. For even more convenience, the mop pads pop off after use and are made to be washed and reused, plus, the rollers detach to help you clean them if you get hair tangled inside. This model comes pre-assembled, so all you need to do is attach the edge brush to the bottom of the robot. It took us longer to remove the packaging and read the manual than it did to set up the robot mop. After installing the app, using an included QR code, and setting up a free account, you can connect the robot mop to your Wi-Fi network. You do need to fully charge the robot mop, which takes about 2 hours, before its first use. Then it's ready to map and do an initial vacuum of your space, which takes about an hour. You can track the map in real time in the app, and after the mapping process, you can name the different rooms of the house or send it back to a specific room if you wanted to do another cleaning. The noise level of this robot increases when it's being used at faster speeds, but overall it's relatively quiet. It also does a good job avoiding objects such as rugs and furniture, as well as smaller objects that may be randomly lying around at any given time. The one setting it struggled on was spot mode. It did a good job cleaning but seemed to forget its mapping pattern and took a long time to return to its docking station. While there is no self-emptying feature for the vacuum, it does empty the water into the docking station. It will, however, prompt you to clean out any dirty water, refill it with clean water, and empty the dust bin. Number 7. Bissell Ready Clean A3 Robotic Mop. For those who don't need a vacuum but are looking to have cleaner floors with minimum effort, the Bissell Ready Clean A3 can help mop floors easily and regularly. We tested it on hardwood floors, and it was extremely meticulous as it went back and forth in a horizontal line, covering every inch of the floors and leaving them shiny. It does well with picking up dust and debris, but anything larger will get pushed around since there is no vacuum feature. It's pleasantly quiet and intuitive at detecting obstacles such as rugs and cords and will change its course after bumping into them. The D-shaped design allows the mop to get to hard-to-reach spaces and it can easily navigate under furniture. The only issue we ran into was the mop's inability to get over small ledges in between rooms. The robot mop comes with both disposable and reusable pads that are interchangeable and can be used for either wet or dry mopping. We programmed the mop to use the reusable pads, and all 4 were replaced during the initial cleaning. Impressively, when the mop detected that the pad was too dirty, it would go to the docking station to automatically swap it out for a new one. We also liked that the mop head lifts when the robot is en route to replace its pad at the docking station, so it doesn't drag the dirty mop across the freshly cleaned floor. The docking station can store 10 pads at a time. There were no washing instructions for the reusable pads, but we hand-washed them and determined that they could likely go through a gentle cycle in the washing machine. Setting up the robot mop was pretty easy, although it took longer than other models. You need to fill the water tank, add the cleaning solution, attach the cleaning pads, and then charge it in the dock for about 4 hours. After downloading the app, you can connect to the robot via Wi-Fi, where you can schedule cleanings, select your water levels, and manage your mop and maps.